Hi everyone, thanks for watching my video. So I kind of tried to make a, a nice garden. So the house is quite small. The focus for me was mainly on the garden. But this is when I kind of learnt a bit about myself, which is that I don't have the patience and I don't have the talent. Like I just couldn't really, I think it looked all right, but there's not really a lot of detail in it. I think as you watch it, particularly the bit where I'm putting the flowers on, it's quite clearly you can almost kind of hear my thought process that's just yeah, stick that there, chuck that there. I'm just not really an attention to detail kind of person, I suppose, but I think it turned out okay. I'm probably never going to be one of those builders that can just make the most amazing things and the most amazing creations, which is a bit sad because I love watching them. That's one of my favourite things to do, is watch people create amazing things on The Sims. But practice makes perfect, so you never know. Maybe in a year's time I'll be able to make wonderful things, but for now I'll make do with what I've got. But anyway, I probably won't talk too much about the build because you can see what I'm doing anyway, and as and when there's anything relevant I'll just kind of chime in about that. But no, I thought I'd just chat about something else, particularly obviously the situation we've got going on at the minute. Everyone's at home having to entertain themselves, especially parents. I'm sure it's difficult, but obviously for me and my husband it's just the two of us, and that's difficult too. Whilst I have sympathy for people that do have kids, I will just say that life isn't easy for us either. Sometimes we lose the remote, sometimes there's too much washing up so we have to order McDonald's or something. Just little things like that just reminding you people that have got kids that you have to keep entertained, just remember it's not easy for everyone, and we're not so lucky to have kids to keep us entertained, so just something to think about. Anyway, what with all the free time we've got at the moment, it kind of means that there's more time to think. I mean, it doesn't really impact me too much anyway because I didn't have a job in the first place, but because my husband's home all the time, it does mean that I don't get to just wander around, watch telly all day, because he works in the living room where the TV is. So it does mean that I've had to reflect a bit, and I don't really like reflecting because when I do that, all that comes to the forefront of my mind is just remembering things that have happened, and most things that have happened to me are usually quite embarrassing. So the past few days, all I've really been doing is thinking about all of the times I've been embarrassed in my life. And the thing is, we're all human, so we've all had embarrassing things happen to us. That's just a rite of passage. But I firmly believe that I genuinely have more embarrassing stories than the average person. I really do think that. I think because I have a few obstacles that other people don't have. For example, a few years ago, well, actually probably more like 10 years ago, I was walking down the street, and I usually I wear contact lenses, but at the time I wore glasses all the time. But I had just popped to the shop, so I didn't bother putting them on. And I mean, really, I shouldn't pop anywhere without either glasses or contact lenses, because maybe I'm in denial, but my vision is so bad. I can't get away with it. But anyway, I went to the shop to go and get a few bits, and I saw my friend walking towards me and her boyfriend, so I just stopped as soon as I saw them, and I was like, oh my god, hey, how's it going, what you been up to? And they just kind of looked at me with a completely blank face. And the closer I walked up to them, I mean, it was a good 20-second interval from when I said that to when I walked up to them, and then noticed that it was not them at all, which would explain the perplexed look on their face. But the trouble is I never know what to do in these situations. Like, I don't know how to react. So my way of reacting to that moment was to just go, I just started backing up and just went, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't know. And then ran away. So yeah, I can imagine how you would take that if you're walking down the street and some random crazy person just runs up to you and they're like, oh my god, hi, and then as soon as you look at them they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, and then run away. It's great. I always find that though, I think that's definitely one of my weaknesses, is I never know how to handle uncomfortable social situations. I never know the right thing to say. Not that there is, a given right thing to say, but I somehow always say the wrong thing or just a very odd thing. There was another time when I was walking my dog, and I was walking her in this field where my house used to be, and it was we used to call it a crop circle field, because there were paths, but there were bushes everywhere. So basically you couldn't see the other side of the field, basically. You're kind of walking around in a bit of a maze. And I was listening to some music and just looking at the ground, so I wasn't really paying attention to what was in front of me, and I was just kind of letting my dog lead where we were going. And she took us right over to a patch where two presumably young people were just having sex on the floor. But by the time I looked up and noticed or heard anything, because obviously I was listening to music, I was very close to them, very close. And again, it was a situation that took me by surprise, so I didn't really know what to say. So I just kind of went, oh no, and then ran away. So, don't depend on someone like me if you need someone to deal with a sensitive situation, or in any respect at all, know what the right thing is to say or react in the right way. Because I don't know how to do that. Although in that case, in my defence, I will just say, who does know what to say when you stumble across two young people having sex in a field? What is the right way to act in that situation? But anyway, back to the speed build slightly. We're out of the garden and into the house. I kind of tried to give it a bit of a, not farmerish vibe, but sort of country kind of feel to it. I don't know what I tried to do, but I tried to make it look lived in, not very, the house that I grew up in. The way it was laid out, my mum is quite anal, so our house just didn't look lived in. Everything had a place and nothing was out of place. You know what I mean? There wouldn't be a mug on the table, there wouldn't be a book on the shelf. Every surface had an ornament that was designed to be there. Everything just looked pristine and not lived in at all. So I kind of tried to go the opposite and make this house look quite lived in, if you know what I mean. So yeah, anyway, reflecting on embarrassing times is fun, when you're on your own, left to your own devices, and all you can think about are times where you've humiliated yourself. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't tried it, give it a go. Also, every time I think about it, I think that there are just so many times where I've embarrassed myself, from big embarrassments to small embarrassments. There was once a time where I went to a club with my friend, and there was a girl there who I knew, but I didn't really like her very much because she was seeing the person that I was seeing, and it was a bit messy. I don't know if she knew about me, but I didn't know about her. So there was a little bit of a bad feeling there, I suppose. And so we were on the dance floor, and me in my drunken state, I kind of thought, well, one thing I do have is my dance moves. In my drunken state, I thought, well, do you know what? You may not have what she's got, but you are a very good dancer. So I thought, but I'm not. So me and my friend were just giving it on the dance floor, every move you could think of. And then a stranger tapped me on my shoulder to tell me that the whole time I'd been dancing, I had some toilet roll hanging out of my skirt. And I said skirt, which meant that basically I had tucked my entire dress into my tights. And the whole time that I was like dancing, thinking I was all that, I actually had my entire arse out on show for the entire club to see. So it's these things like that that make me think that I probably do have more embarrassing experiences than the average person, because I don't know anyone that's had anything like that happen. And that's just like, this is a 10-minute video, and that's not enough time to go through everything. And also, I don't really have the stomach to go through everything. I'm not sure if I want a load of strangers to know how embarrassing life has got for me. But, you know, those are just some little nuggets for you. Anyway, whilst this is something I could talk about for hours, I think for my own sanity I probably won't, otherwise it will just get depressing. So I'm just gonna kind of try and end it now, because we're getting towards the end of the video anyway. So I'll just say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where I have another meltdown. So yeah, bye bye.